Hey guys, Scott here from the Mental Metal channel and mentalmetaldetecting.com. And tonight I have a special request to do a little how to or setup video for the Minelab Manticore and the XP Days 2. And as far as that goes, how to set them up for water hunting. That includes both beach detecting and river hunting. So I told somebody I would actually do a video on both machines together, and hopefully that helps some people out. So tonight we're going to go through all my settings for the Manticore, for the beach, and for how I hunt with it in the river, as well as the Days 2 for the beach and how I hunt with it in the river. So it's going to be a very, very informative video for you, I hope. Please let me know if it is or not at the end of the video or during the video. Please hit that like button. And if you guys are looking for one of these machines, you can always check them out over at Fort Bedford Metal Detectors. All right, so let's get busy. Let's get into the settings so you guys have them for the beach and the river, for the Manticore and the Days 2. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and start with the Manticore. I use this machine primarily now on the beach. Not that I don't use the Days 2. I actually still will use the Days 2. I'm actually going to the beach in about 4 days, so I will be taking both the Manticore and the Days 2 with me. I prefer the Manticore on the beach just because you don't have to mess with the antenna and stuff like that, but I do really like the Days 2 as well. So not going to get into which one's better or not. I believe they're both pretty much on par. Just some little nuances here and there with each machine that I prefer the Manticore over the Days 2 at the beach. But river, it's a toss-up for me, but let's just go through the beach settings here. Now, one thing I have done in the Manticore, which is nice, is I've set up a soft key. So when you set up a soft key, and I'm not going to get into that tonight, but it makes you have the ability to cycle through or press through your favorite program and back to the one you were at. So I'm actually going to show you the beach program first, all right? And then we'll go into the river side and how I hunt freshwater streams with this machine. So on the Manticore, what you want to do is you want to start out with your sensitivity. Like, this is the volume, by the way. Let's get out of here. So my sensitivity in the garage right now is way down to 15 because I'm getting a lot of feedback. But I typically run on the beach 22, 23, as much as I can until I start hearing a lot of feedback. So a lot of chatter. So the highest you can run is probably the better. I typically run it, around 22, 21 or higher. It depends on your beach. So just keep that in mind. The program, geez, I can't even talk tonight, that I'm in today is, let's go to our settings. I'm actually using beach low conductors. All right, so I prefer hunting in beach low conductors because I'm looking for the gold, obviously, and it really rings out good with this setup. And so we're just going to go through what I have in here just to kind of show you. I'm kind of reading my notes here to make sure I don't miss anything. So the recovery speed, we've already gone over that. Let's keep going up. Noise cancel, obviously. Ground balance is 0. So my recovery speed is 4. I don't really change that much on the beach. I don't really need to where I go. I usually go at Hilton Head, South Carolina. Discrimination pattern, I don't usually use any at all. So I'm just going to skip over that. Now this is where I do change Ferris limits. I've learned over the couple of years, the last year or so that I've had this machine, I really prefer these Ferris limits on the beach. Your upper limit is 5, your lower is 0. I just like to open it up, and I think that helps hear a lot more targets a little bit clearer to me. I think once you start adding more Ferris limits to the machine, you tend to knock out some things. A lot of people won't dig the 10s and the 11s, the 12 signals, thinking it's probably trash. You have to dig those, folks, on the beach. If you get a broken signal at 10, 11, 12, even up to 15 or so, I would dig them all day long. I've already dug last year, I think, 1 or 2 bracelets in those ranges. So you have to kind of open the machine up a little bit, but I would definitely, keep your Ferris limits the way I have them And at least it's my personal preference. I'm going to tell you what to do, but this is how I like to run the Ferris limits. All right. So let's keep moving on here. Now my Ferris volume, I actually run my Ferris volume at 18. I do like to hear it, and so it's if I'm not in. Well, we'll go over that in a minute. But let's get back out of here. I'm running a 2 regional all tones. All right, so I prefer 2 tones. I believe it makes more sense, but when you edit this a little bit, you're going to see real quickly that I have some really wacky tone settings. So my first tone break is at 0, and my second one starts at 1. So I essentially have turned this into a one tone break program. If you go up, my tone 1 starts at 0, and my pitch is 15. If you edit this, go back and go to T1 volume, it's 25. T1 end is at 1, and the T1 end pitch is at 25. The T2 start is at 2, the pitch is 45, the volume is 25, and it goes up to 99 and eventually ends with the pitch at 50. So that's how I set it up. I find that this is a high tone program. When I'm on the beach, I'm digging pretty much everything anyway, and I want to hear it as a high tone. So I'll either do a 2 regional all tones or just a 2 tone setup. But I'm learning that I like the regional all tones better as I'm getting more comfortable with this machine. So that's how I run the Manticore with the 2 regional all tones. I hope that's not too confusing. To go back a little bit here. Your T2 ends at 99. Let's go back. Oops, let's edit it again. My T1 starts at 0. My pitch is 15. But the T1 volume is 25. If you go to the end, it's at 20. It is from 0 to 1, and the pitch is 25. So it's a very low pitch. All right. So but then the tone 2 starts at 2. Starts at a pitch of 45, volume 25, but the pitch ends with 50. So it gradually goes up the higher you go up the numbers, and it obviously ends at 99. So just wanted to go over that. All right, so let's go up a little bit more here. Now, audio theme, I prefer normal. It just depends on what you prefer here. I think it doesn't really matter on which audio theme to use. I don't need enhanced. I don't need to do depth. I'm not prospecting, so I usually leave it in normal. I do run a medium profile, and my threshold level is at 0. Sometimes I will throw on a threshold if I'm just not hearing much, just to let me know the machine's still working. Sometimes it happens when I go to the beach, but my profile is medium. So just wanted to let you know in case you're wondering about that. And then obviously multi-IQ. Now, one thing I do change in the settings menu is I do turn on the red numbers, and I also turn on the underwater boost on the beach. Usually it's pretty loud, so this helps with the yellow waterproof headphones. It gives it a little bit more of audio boost, and so I like that. So that's really it for the the saltwater beach setup. That's how I run my machine, and I've had really good luck with it the last couple times I'm at the beach, and I run this here locally in Maryland. When I go to the brackish waters and stuff, I'll use this setting as well, and it works very well. I just prefer it this way. It's my setup. It's my go-to, and I'm really, really excited to use it again this year. Now let's get into the my river setup. My river setup is not terribly different from just a general program. Nice thing about soft keys, I hit this button, I'm back into my river setup. Again, my settings for river setup is going to be about 21, 22, maybe as high as I can make it. But for this instance, I'm not in the garage. I'm in the garage, so it's at 15. So if we go to our settings and we go all the way bottom, we'll start over. This is for river now. Freshwater river, that is. My search mode is going to be all terrain general. I just prefer that one. It works well. I do ground balance it in the freshwater. Or again, my recovery speed is 4. I don't have any reason typically to increase that. Discrimination pattern, I don't believe I run any, or actually I do run something, yes. Or no, I don't. I forgot. There is my Ferris limits is what I run differently. So my Ferris limits, I run an upper of 17 and a lower of -17. I do that because that's how I hunt with the machine on land. So it's something I've learned that I've gotten a little tip from Brian at Southern Relic Adventures. I really like the way he had this set up. And I think he got this from somewhere else over the pond somewhere. But it's not too intrusive as far as knocking targets out. It actually it opens it up a little bit more, lets more targets in. And I find that it really hits well with buttons and coins and things like that. So I'm using a -17, or for the lower and upper 17 here just to prove it to you. This is my upper, which is 17. If we scroll over, whoops, I don't want to do that. If we go down to one of these, you can see it's a -17. So it's not highlighted. It's very, very faint there, but it is a -17. So 17 and -17 are my upper and negative Ferris limits, or upper and lower Ferris limits. So getting out of there, a Ferris volume, I typically leave mine at 8. I want to hear a little bit of the iron, but I don't want to hear too much. And when I'm in the water, I set up another two regional alltones, but this time I'm leaving it pretty much so what stock is. I don't really change it too much. So whatever the stock is for 2 regional alltones is what I go with in the water. Audio theme again is normal. Frequency is obviously multi-IQ. And my general settings again, I will turn on the red numbers and I will do an underwater boost. So very, very simple setup for the river, the freshwater stream detecting. I've done pretty good this year with this machine in the freshwater. I found a couple really cool relics and old coins this year with it. So I'm really, really happy with the way the Manticore has really served me so far since I've had it. It's been a fantastic machine despite some of the negative reviews that came out on the machine. I think people just did not understand how to use this machine. And now that we're kind of been using it more and they've had the update, it is a super, super easy machine to use. And it tells you a lot of information that, using that 2D display that a lot of people, may not like, but I find it very useful specifically for water hunting. So don't knock it until you try it, is what I say. So that is Manticore. Now let's get into the Days 2. All right, guys. So I got the Days 2 here. I'm just firing up right now to kind of get into it a little bit. We'll pick the speaker, but it's going to be loud in here in my garage. So we're going to have to knock down the sensitivity. Knock that down a little bit. Okay. So let's go into the beat settings first. Okay. So we're going to do, let's just scroll over till we get to the beach programs. Again, I'll have to turn down my sensitivity, I'm sure. Beach sensitive, there we go. So let's just do that right now. Sensitivity. All right, that should do it for now. All right, so we're at beat sensitive. This is what I usually set up my machine or the Days 2 in for the beach hunting. Like I said, this machine really kicks butt on the beach too. The only downfall is you have to have an external antenna if you're in the water. If you get this coil underwater at all, you're going to need that antenna. So that's my little Downfall for it, and a lot of these antennas tend to wear out over time. And so I've got the new antenna, the one that has the black. It's a different type of antenna. It's a shorter antenna. I'm trying that out this year to see if I like it any better. You can get those at Fort Bedford Metal Detectors if you're looking for those. Just have them, have Keith or John hook you up. They'll hook you up with it. So let's take a look at the settings for the Deus 2 for the beach. So this is, like I said, I'm in beach sensitive, and we're gonna get out of here. And I probably have to set this up as I go. I don't know if I have my settings remembered or not from last time. Let's just go back to the beginning here. Discrimination. Now, discrimination I have written down 6.8, so I would change this right away. I haven't used this machine on the beach in a while, so I'm going to set it up just as I would if I was hunting with it for the first time. My sensitivity, I have it in my garage at 69. I would actually raise that to 95. So sensitivity for me on the beach will be 95, or as high as I can stand it. Rocky just bumped the camera. Hopefully you can still see that. Yep. All right. So salt sensitivity, I have mine at 7. I don't really mess with that too much. My frequency max is always at 40. My iron volume, I like it at 7. My reactivity, I will typically run 1.5 on the beach. I don't really need to have it any higher than that. Sometimes I'll drop it down to 1, but typically I'll run it at 1.5. Audio response, I like it at 5 on the beach. I like to hear it extra loud for those deep targets especially. And we're back to discrimination. Now, in discrimination, if we go into the expert menu, I like to run mine in a 3-tone setup, all right? And before we go into the 3 tones and how I discriminate them, let's just go down through bottle caps. I typically don't run anything on. I leave bottle caps off. I leave notch off, but I do have my silencer at 2. Now let's go back to the tones themselves. So this is how I typically set mine up. Let's see if I have it right here. So my first tone break is at 6.8, and it should go all the way up to 72 for my second one, which it does, and then from 73 on up to 99 is how I typically have it set up. So my tone 1 break is at 6.8, tone 1 frequency is at 202 hertz, and my volume is at 7. Now if we go to tone 2, my tone break is at 72, my tone frequency is at 518. I typically will raise that up a little bit, which we're going to do right now. So let's raise that frequency up. I like to hear it a little bit higher pitch. Oh geez, I just totally didn't do it right. Go back to your expert mode. Sorry about that. So I'm at tone 1. I need to go to tone 2, and I need to get over to there. And I need to raise my frequency. I'm going to raise it up to 844. So 844, and my volume is at 10. That is fine. And then we're going to go down to tone break 3, which, it's obviously your tone break. Your last tone break is a double dash because you can't really change it. But you can change the frequencies of the tones. So I'm going to change that to 993. So I'm going to hit this button, or I'm actually already in it. So we're just going to raise that volume, or I'm sorry, the frequency up as high as it'll go to 993. And that way your higher tones and stuff or high conductive targets will hit really, really hard and loud, high pitch. And yeah, I mean, this is a great setup for the beach. I really like it. The other thing I want to point out is my audio option in this. We get out of this, go to your options, my audio, select, come down. It's been a while since I've been in here. Audio type. Now right now it's at PWM. I don't usually use PWM for this. I do like to hunt in, I like to do high square. So that is my choice. It's obviously your choice. You could do whatever you want, but that's what I prefer to hunt on the beach with. Okay? Now, in general, for water hunting, I do something different. I treat this just like I'm hunting on land. And the program I typically use, believe it or not, that's become very, very true, tried and true for me, is my own program. Did I miss it? No, that's not it. And that's the Mental Metal Coin program. It's a very, very simple program. There's a video on that out there. I have it out there for you that you can check out. But we'll just run through it. Disc is 6.8. Sensitivity, because I'm in my garage, it would be like 95. As high as I can make it. Now, frequency max, I only use 24 kilohertz. I don't really need to have it up to 40. I feel like it hits better in targets that are within the 24 kilohertz range. So it will only use multi-frequency up to 24 kilohertz. So I don't really need the 40 kilohertz from what I'm doing. And it's been working fine for me. My iron volume is at 7. My reactivity is at 2. Now, I will sometimes lower that to 1.5 or 1, depending on where I'm at. My audio response is at 4. And then go into the expert mode for your discrimination to get the tones. Now, this is where I have a 5-tone setup. And you could really run it in the way I've set it up for the beach too. But for the 5 tones, these are my tone breaks, all right? So let's go into expert. Now, the first one obviously is at 6.8. My second one goes up to 57. Third one goes up to 65. Then you have 72, and then 72 all the way to 99. The reason I have it set up this way is because this is a coin program. Now, if you look at the volume, so tone 1 is at not volume, but the frequency of tone 1 is 202. It's a very low, and my volume's turned down to 7. But let's go to tone 2. If you notice, I have tone 2 at a lower frequency at 651. Now, I will typically, when I'm coin hunting, lower that even more so I can, hear it very, very low. I don't dig a lot of stuff in this range, but when I'm on the beach, you bet your money I'm digging anything I hear in that range. That's where all your gold's going to be. So sometimes I will actually raise this up, the frequency, a bit. So we got to get over to the frequency. I will raise this to be like 844. That's probably what I'll do at the beach this time, or I'm sorry, in the freshwater next time around. So I want to hear stuff like that in the water, and I want to know what it is. A lot of times on land, I will really, really decrease the volume on that. And, like you see here, it's at 5. If I'm hunting in the water, I will probably raise that up a little bit to probably 10. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm turning this coin program back into a relic program. So it's just something I like to do in the river. All right, and so then tone 3, the frequency of tone 3 is 891. That's fine, and the volume is 10. That's fine. And we're at tone break 4, 725. That's fine. I lower it a little bit because that is also another junk range. It typically still is a junk range for the rivers, so I will drop the volume and leave it at 7 for the most part. But then the last tone break that goes up to 99, that one's going to be a high frequency at 993 and my volume at 10. So there you have it. I mean, that's how I hunt in the river with my coin program. I turn it basically into a relic program. B-cap 0, notch off, silencer at 2, just like beach. My audio options for this, I also use high square for this one. So that is how I usually use this machine the days 2 in the river, and it's a killer machine in the river, folks. If you want to put up with the antenna and stuff, it's a great machine to have in the water, no doubt about it. And I also have the WS6 Master, which I'm really contemplating using that for my beach setup this year instead of taking the remote. So, because once I set up for the beach, I don't really look at the puck too much. The nice thing about the remote is I have a backlight, where on the WS6 Master puck I don't, and I hunt at night on the beach usually. So I probably will stick with the remote and keep this set up. I have the WS6 Master shaft for it. I do have Steve's detector rod shafts for this machine, and I love using that machine, but I only use it on the lamb because it's like the Maserati of shafts, and I don't want to get it all saltwater, laced with salt water. So I know, I could probably rinse it out, it'll be fine, but not for me. I'm not ruining that shaft. That shaft is amazing. So if you're looking for a nice shaft for XP Deus, I highly recommend Steve's detector rods. And if you're looking for a mount like the one I have here, rcdigs.com makes these mounts where the antenna runs right up the side, and so you don't have to worry about it, falling out or anything. It stays up in there, and it's close to the remote, so it works. They're really nice setups for the mounts. I love them. So go over there and check them out over rcdigs.com if you're looking for one of those. Hey, and if you're looking for this machine or the Manticore, like I said, you can always check them out at FortBedfordMetalDetectors.com. They have them in stock. They'll get them for you if they don't. They have all the equipment you need. They don't have the mounts, but you know where to go to get the mounts. I just told you. But you cannot go wrong with the Manticore or the Deus 2 on the beach. You just can't. I mean, they're both excellent machines on the beach, and I'm looking forward to taking both of them this year. I like to give them equal time out there. But I hope this was helpful for you. I know I've probably done these videos before in the past, or on separate videos for each one, but I figured I would do them again, put these two machines together, even though they are a high competitor against each other. I figure you guys will get a use out of this video and probably use it to your advantage. So whether you're a Manticore or a Deus 2 fan, it doesn't hurt to just be, how should I say, fair for each machine. All right. Well, anyway, that's going to be it for me tonight. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you got something out of it. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Mental Metal channel. And hey, join me over on Patreon. This is where I got these ideas anyway. My Patreon members drive the content you see on YouTube. If you want to be a part of that experience, please join us over there, or join us on the YouTube memberships, where we're doing some stuff over there, letting you guys see these videos ahead of time before anybody else does. So trying to do a little mix of everything for everybody. But love the feedback. So if you have an idea for a video, love to hear it. And that's going to be it for me today. Rocky's here in the garage being very, very quiet. He says hello. And that's it for me. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, thanks for watching, and I appreciate you. And we'll see you in another Mental Metal video.